Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about some exponent examples. All right, so we'll take a couple of questions and solve them together. So the first question that we have here is x to the power of 1 over 2 to the power of 6. And basically in this question, we will apply the power of a power rule. And the power of a power rule basically says that you'll multiply these two powers. So this changes to 6 over 1. So now your question changes to x to the power of 1 over 2 times 6 over 1, which now changes to x to the power of 6 times 1 is 6, 2 times 1 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Hence your final answer is x to the power of 3. All right. Now we will take a look at question number 2. And question number 2 says solve when 2b to the power of 4 has another power on it which is negative 1. Now this can be solved with power of a power rule also, but here we'll also use the negative power rule because one of the powers is negative. So remember, in the negative power rule, basically you have to change it to its reciprocal in order to make it positive. So instead of 2b to the power of 4 over 1, we change it to 1 over 2b to the power of 4, which changes to a positive power 1. So instead of negative power, now the power has changed to 1. Any number to the power of 1 is the same number. Hence your answer is 2b to the power of 4. And that's our final answer. All right. She gone. Question number 3. Now for question number 3, our question says 3m to the power of negative 2. Now basically what happens is you can either take it as its reciprocal right now or do that later, whatever you want to do. So you can give this power right now or do it later. So we can write it as its reciprocal with a positive power so we can eventually solve it. Now the power is positive, everybody gets the power 2, or they get squared basically. So this changes to 1 over 3 squared times m squared, which is now equal to 1 over 9 m squared, and that's your answer. All right. Question 4. Now for question 4, our question here says 3x cubed y to the power of negative 1 z to the power of negative 1 over x to the power of negative 4 y to the power of 0 z to the power of 0. Now basically in this question you have like terms, and as you can see they are being divided here, so we can use quotient rule to solve it. So for quotient rule, basically you subtract the powers. So I'll have 3 minus negative 4. So I'm subtracting the power of x here with the power of x here. Next comes y, negative 1 minus 0, power of y minus power of y. Then z, subtract the powers. Two negatives will make it a positive. 3 plus 4 is 7. Negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1, and z, negative 1. Now they all are different terms, they are not amigos, so we cannot combine them. This will be our answer. Now we will write down question number 5, which is x to the power of 2, y to the power of -1, everything squared. Now we can, the power is positive, we can go ahead and give the power to everybody. So it is x squared squared. Everyone got the power 2. Now by the power of a power rule, we will multiply these two powers, which is going to be x to the power of 4 and y to the power of -1 times 2 is -2. Now another way of writing this answer is bringing the y down, because they would rather have a positive power in the answer than a negative. So both of these answers could be your final answers. All right. Question 6. 2x cubed x squared over x to the power of -3. And they want us to solve it. Now, one different thing that is happening here is that all the people are same, they are amigos, except this 2 here. So we can combine the amigos. So here, using the product rule, I can add the powers because the bases are same and they're getting multiplied. So here I can have 3 plus 2. I still have another x at the bottom with -3 power. Now, at least I combined the x's on the top. 3 plus 2 is 5 over x to the power of -3. Now I am going to apply the quotient rule because these two x's are getting divided. Here I applied the product rule. All right, so our answer is now going to look like 5 minus -3 because I'm subtracting and this one already has a negative. Now we are going to add these. So it's going to be x to the power of 5 plus 3, which is 2x to the power of 8, and we are done. The moment we feel like we have simplified it enough and there's no other way to now simplify 2 and x because they are two different people, we are done. Question 7. Question 7 says a to the power of -3, b to the power of -3 to the power of 0. Now it looked very complex as I was writing. The moment I put a 0 here, your work changed to very easy work. Why? Because according to 0 rule, if you remember, any number or any expression to the power of 0 is 0, is 1, sorry. So let us say our x to the power of 0 is 1. So that's the rule we'll apply here. And hence our answer will be 1. And we are done. Easiest question in this set, I would say. No work was needed for this one. All right, she gone. Question number 8 says 2x to the power of 3 over x to the power of -1 to the power of 3. Now that's our question. Our first step will be I can use the power of a power rule here and at least simplify it a little bit more. And in power of a power, we multiply the power. So it's going to be -3 because 3 times -1 is -3. Now I can apply the quotient rule to further simplify it, which is going to be, in quotient rule, we subtract the powers. So it's going to be 3 plus 3, that is 6, and we are done. All right, we are getting ready to do the next question, which is question number 9. So question number 9 is 2x cubed z squared everything to the power of 3 over x cubed y to the power of 4 z squared times x to the power of negative 4 z cubed. There's a lot going on in this question, and we'll have to do a lot of work here. A lot of rules are going to be applied in order to change this ugly math expression into something simpler. So the first thing is everyone will get this power. That is the first thing that will happen. And the other thing that you're going to use is the product rule. So here you're going to use the power of a power, and here you're using the product rule at the bottom to combine the bottom pieces. So hence our next step will look like 2 cubed x to the power of 3 times 3, which is 9, and z to the power of 2 times 3, which is 6. Now I've simplified the top people. We are now going to work with the bottom people, which is x to the power of 3 minus 4, y to the power of 4. Y doesn't have anybody. All right, so I combine these. Y doesn't have a friend, so I'm not working with Y with anybody. Now Z does have a friend. The two powers for Z are 2 and 3, so I can add them. And hence my next step answer will look like 2 cubed is 8, so I can write that. X to the power of 9, Z to the power of 6, over X to the power of negative 1, 3 minus 4, negative 1, Y to the power of 4, and Z to the power of 5. All right, we are still not done because we can see some like terms here which can be combined using quotient rule. So here now I'm going to use the quotient rule in order to further simplify it, which is 8. 8 doesn't have an amigo, I'll just bring 8 like that. Next is this 9 and this negative 1, I can combine 9 minus negative 1. Remember in quotient rule we subtract the powers. Y doesn't have a friend, so I'll keep him right here. And then Z does have a friend, so we'll have to combine the powers or subtract them, which looks like this. All right, next up we have 8, x to the power of 9 plus 1, which is 10. Z to the power of 6 minus 5 is 1, or 1Z is available. And then y to the power of 4 did not have a friend, so he's staying over there. All right, so that is our simplified answer. We cannot further simplify it, and hence we are done. We will now move on to the last question, which is question number 10. And the 10th question is BA to the power of 4 times 2BA to the power of 4 to the power of negative 3. Now here there's no quotient rule or anything going on. So what we can do is we can just simply combine them. And first, we have to give the power to everybody. So power of a power rule is being applied here. So BA4 will just slide along as we simplify the expression in the parentheses. So this changes to the power of negative 3, B to the power of negative 3, and A to the power of negative 12. All right. Next up, what I can do is all of these people have a negative power. What I can do is I can take them to the bottom so they can change to a positive power, and simplifying is easier. So this changes to this. BA to the power of 4 still stays on the top. 2 to the power of negative 3 now becomes 2 to the power of positive 3. B to the power of positive 3, A to the power of positive 12. Now everyone has a positive power. I can simplify them. And this now changes to BA to the power of 4 over 8. 2 cubed is 8. B cubed, A 12. All right, we are still not done yet because we haven't combined the amigos. Although we do have an 8 here, so he can stay at the bottom. Whereas on the B, I have one B here. I can have B 1 minus 3 and A to the power of 4 minus 12. This 4 and this 12 we are subtracting as per the quotient rule. All right, next up I have b to the power of -2 and a to the power of -8 over 8. Now this could be your final answer, or a better way to put your answer is with positive power and a first and b next. Sorry, +2, the moment I bring it down, the power becomes positive. So that should be my answer, and I cannot further combine it. So that will be the final answer. So I hope it made some sense to you. It was actually just an extension of my exponents video, applying all the rules of exponents to questions and solving them. Thank you for watching and taking your time in studying. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.